coffee shop was nearly empty at 7 a.m., just the way Avery liked it during her summer break from college. At 22, she cherished these quiet moments before the world woke up, when she could read her book and sip her latte in peace. The bell above the door chimed, and she looked up to see a familiar figure, tall, confident, with dark hair pulled back in a messy bun. Avery? Wow, I hardly recognized you. The voice belonged to Elena Rodriguez, her best friend Jess's older sister. Elena had been away for 3 years working as a graphic designer in Seattle, and the woman standing before her now seemed transformed, more polished, more self-assured than the college student who'd left town. Elena, hi! I heard you were back in town. Avery felt heat rise in her cheeks as Elena approached her table. She'd always found Elena intimidating in the best way. Intelligent, artistic, with an easy confidence that Avery envied. How's the big city treating you? Can't complain, but it's good to be home for a while. Elena gestured to the empty chair across from Avery. Mind if I join you? I was about to order, but this place looks different than I remember. As Elena settled into the chair, Avery caught a hint of her perfume. Something sophisticated and warm. They renovated last year. Same great coffee, though. Are you visiting for long? Actually, I'm moving back. Got offered a position with a design firm here in town. Elena's eyes crinkled when she smiled. Funny how life comes full circle. Jess mentioned you're studying marketing. That's perfect. We might end up working together someday. 2 weeks later, Avery found herself helping Jess unpack boxes in Elena's new apartment downtown. The space was a converted loft with exposed brick walls and large windows that filled the room with golden afternoon light. Elena moved through the space with purpose, directing where furniture should go with the eye of someone who understood design. Avery, could you help me hang this? Elena called from the living room, holding up a large framed photograph of a Seattle cityscape at sunset. As they worked together to position it on the wall, Avery became acutely aware of Elena's proximity. The way she concentrated on getting the angles just right. The gentle way she directed Avery's movements. Perfect, Elena said, stepping back to admire their work. You've got a good eye for this. Have you ever thought about interior design? The compliment made Avery's heart flutter in a way that surprised her. Not really, but I love beautiful spaces. Avery gestured around the apartment. This place is incredible. You've made it feel like home already. Jess emerged from the kitchen, covered in dust from unpacking dishes. I'm starving. Can we order pizza now? All this manual labor is killing me. She collapsed dramatically onto the couch, making both Avery and Elena laugh. Over pizza and wine, the 3 women talked late into the evening. Avery found herself drawn into conversations with Elena about art, travel, and dreams for the future. When Elena described her photography hobby, landscapes she'd captured during weekend trips around the Pacific Northwest, her passion was infectious, and Avery hung on every word. The summer festival downtown was in full swing when Avery spotted Elena at a booth selling handmade jewelry. She was examining a delicate silver bracelet, holding it up to catch the late afternoon sunlight. Something about the way Elena appreciated beautiful things made Avery's pulse quicken. "That would look beautiful on you," Avery said, approaching the booth. Elena turned with a smile that made Avery forget whatever else she'd planned to say. "Avery, I was hoping I'd run into you here. Jess said you never missed the summer festival." Elena purchased the bracelet and slipped it onto her wrist. "Want to walk around together? I'm still reacquainting myself with all the changes in town." They spent the evening wandering between booths, sharing funnel cake and listening to the local band on the main stage. When Elena laughed at something Avery said, leaning closer to be heard over the music, Avery felt a spark of something she wasn't ready to name. "I should probably head home," Avery said as the festival began winding down. "Early shift at the bookstore tomorrow." "Let me walk you to your car," Elena offered. As they made their way through the thinning crowd, Elena's hand briefly touched Avery's back to guide her around a group of teenagers, and the contact sent warmth spreading through Avery's entire body. She was in trouble, and she knew it. The thunderstorm came out of nowhere on a Tuesday afternoon, sending everyone in the bookstore scrambling to close windows and protect the merchandise from the sudden downpour. Avery was alone in the shop when Elena appeared in the doorway, soaking wet and laughing. "Got caught without an umbrella," Elena explained, shaking water from her hair. "Mind if I wait it out here?" Avery grabbed a towel from behind the counter. "Of course. Here, you're dripping everywhere." As she handed Elena the towel, their fingers brushed, and Elena's touch lingered just a moment longer than necessary. "Thank you." Elena's voice was softer now, and when Avery looked up, she found Elena watching her with an expression that made her breath catch. The air between them felt charged, like the storm outside had somehow found its way into the quiet bookstore. "Avery," Elena said quietly, stepping closer. "I need to tell you something. These past few weeks, getting to know you again, I can't stop thinking about you." The confession hung between them like a bridge Avery could either cross or burn. Her heart pounded as she realized Elena was waiting for a response, hope and vulnerability written across her features. "I think about you too," Avery whispered, and Elena's face lit up with relief and something deeper. Something that looked like the beginning of love. 3 months later, Avery and Elena had settled into a rhythm that felt both thrilling and natural. They were careful around Jess, not ready to complicate the friendship with revelations about their growing relationship. But stolen moments together had become the highlight of Avery's days. "We should tell her," Elena said one evening as they sat on her apartment balcony, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of pink and gold. "Jess deserves to know what's happening between us." Avery leaned against Elena's shoulder, breathing in the familiar scent that had become synonymous with happiness. "I know you're right. I'm just scared of how she'll react. What if she feels like we've been lying to her? Then we'll deal with it together," Elena said, pressing a gentle kiss to the top of Avery's head. "What we have is real, Avery. It's worth whatever complications come with it." The conversation with Jess came sooner than expected, when she showed up unannounced at Elena's apartment and found them curled up together on the couch watching a movie. After the initial shock, Jess surprised them both by laughing. "Finally! I was wondering when you two would figure it out. You've been making hard eyes at each other all summer." A year later, As Avery graduated from college and prepared to start her career at the same firm where Elena worked, she reflected on how love had a way of finding you when you least expected it. Standing in Elena's arms at her graduation party, surrounded by friends and family who had embraced their relationship with warmth and acceptance, Avery realized that sometimes the most beautiful things in life came from taking chances on the unexpected. "I love you," she whispered to Elena, and the words felt like coming home.